Hey 4am fam. So I have a new tool for your toolkit that is really going to help with mindset, especially if you are really struggling to find the positive or to keep the vision. So for a lot of people, it is really hard to go straight for the affirmation, straight for the vision. This will happen. And especially for a lot of people right now who maybe you're not sure on what the vision is or what you want it to be, or you feel like you're really burned from aiming too high. This is all very understandable, not just for what we've been through recently in the past few months, but just in our lives in general. We're all adults here. We've been through some shit, right? So it can be really hard to harness the positivity and believe that good things are going to happen. Very relatable. That's why if you're in this state or you're feeling that way, whether now or chronically, if you do go straight to the final affirmation, the end result, and you're chanting the affirmation and you're trying to, manifest, believe, make it so, it's not going to work because your brain doesn't actually believe it, right? Your brain is like, I hear the words coming out of your mouth. I'm not on board with this shit. So you're literally in a battle with yourself. Your brain is not letting you believe it. And then the voice that doesn't believe it becomes louder than the affirmation. And then doing affirmations, mantras, all kinds of belief mindset stuff just doesn't work because you're trying to force it and your brain knows you're trying to force it and it's fighting back. I guess I should have started this video by saying, raise your hand if you've ever felt personally victimized by affirmations or mantra work. Ugh. But it's all good, fam, because guess what? You don't have to go to the full vision. You don't have to go to the affirmation. You don't have to believe the best possible outcome in order for things to start shifting for you and to start feeling better. So here's what you do. So rather than choose a mantra or the affirmation or the end result, start exactly where you're at. Allow yourself to be where you're at. Now remember, this is where the shadow work comes in, and being soft with your emotions, processing them, allowing yourself to feel whatever it is you feel, have whatever thoughts you want to have about that. Acknowledging that it's okay to feel that way. It's normal. We're all going to feel some kind of way at some point in time. So we start there. We don't try to fight the feeling. We acknowledge it. Now, we're not giving it total power and we're not letting it run the show. It's just an acknowledgement. Okay, yeah, you feel super let down and super scared to believe that anything is going to happen. I gotcha. I get it. So that little old feeling feels acknowledged and it's not going to try to fight back. It knows it's safe to just be. Because remember, our really intense emotions, they act like alarm clocks. They're messengers. All emotions are messengers. They're telling us what's going on energetically. They're giving us messages about the patterns in our lives, the beliefs that we're in, showing us future patterns, afraid of the future, getting us to be nervous about what could come. So emotions are messengers. So if you try to override the messenger, it's like, listen, I got one job, and it's going to keep coming back bigger and bigger and bigger. So when we get into that space of allowing, it can deliver the message. And once it delivers the message, it's like, okay, cool. And it can chill a bit, get in the back seat, not in the driver's seat. Okay, so here's the crucial part. Rather than trying to convince that emotion that it is wrong, and we're going to get the opposite because that's too big of a leap, we're going to take incremental steps. We're going to just see if we can just nudge our belief a little bit, a little bit, a little bit. We don't have to, the end goal is not ultimately to get there today. We're going to force that way. We're just going to shift, be where we're at, and shift it ever so slightly. So for example, I've posted a couple videos where there was a lot of pushback and people are like, yeah, but. Okay, so let's use that as an example. Let's talk about the impeachment situation that may or may not be coming to fruition that people are feeling some kind of way about. So if that's the mindset you're in, rather than going, but it's going to work, it's going to happen, and therefore he will be removed, and therefore we get Madam President. If that is too much for you, if that doesn't feel safe for you, if that doesn't seem like that's going to happen, you don't have to go all the way. Instead, we can start where we're at. I feel doubt that anything is going to happen. I feel anger that nothing has happened before. I feel sadness and despair that it's too little too late. I feel fear that we're going to get Vance instead. All of these things I've heard in my comments and more. So I know that's where a lot of you are at, understandably. So rather than staying at that pit or trying to force the ultimate outcome, we're going to just work it up a little bit. How about instead of nothing ever happens, we look at, oh my gosh, this is a new development. Isn't that interesting? We could also choose to look at the fact that we've been sitting here for the past couple months and it seems as though lawmakers aren't doing anything. we can look at that and say, wow, look, lawmakers are doing something. And look at all these people who are starting to speak out. And maybe by them speaking out, it will get the public's attention. And maybe when there's more public support, it can get more lawmaker support. Now, I'm doing this using examples of positive thinking, positive ways to look at things. If that still feels like a stretch for you, that's okay. You don't have to force yourself to go to the positive if you're not ready yet. You can make it completely neutral. This lawmaker is trying to put steps in action. So that way you're not in a battle between positivity and negativity. It is neutral. This lawmaker is taking steps to do something. Because for a lot of people right now, even the good news is very triggering. Y'all feel that way? Some of you feel that way? It can be very triggering. We've been on a wild emotional roller coaster. So if going into the hope is too much for you, you don't have to do that. You can stay in neutrality. We don't have to get carried away either way. Neutral statements. But what I can tell you from both my personal experience and experience as a healer helping people through situations like this process, this toolkit of learning how to just reach for the next best thing. We're not going to go all the way. We're just going to start where we're at. We're going to be neutral. Neutral is the next best thing. And then once we feel solid in that, what's the next best thing? Tiny little step. You can tiptoe your way there. You don't have to take giant leaps. And what this does is build safety in your nervous system, that we don't have to feel like we're on an emotional roller coaster with every bit of news. We know how to find the neutral ground, accept our emotions where we're at. And then as we begin to learn how to expand into the positivity just a little bit, your nervous system feels safe with positivity, where before positivity might have, crashed and burned and you feel betrayed by that. We're learning to build safety and regulation with our emotions. So that's my toolkit tip for the day. I hope you all are still watching the hashtag We Rise Together. I am seeing you guys. They are the most incredible things out there. Our community is coming together like never before. It's so beautiful. So if you have something to share, please keep sharing. If you have other dreaming women, friends in the 4 a.m. club that you vibe with, create your own councils, get together, put your voice out there. And if you're looking for wisdom, search that hashtag. We have an incredible community of brilliant, loving, incredible, talented, wise people who are sharing what they know. And that is how we get through this together. Love you guys.